Well, hey, tuners, welcome back to another episode of Toon Ladies. I am so excited to see each and every one of you today. We're hanging out with one of my dearest friends. I love her, and we're going to bring her up in just a minute. She's the author of LUFF, and it's going to be so much fun today. But before we get to hanging out with Arechan, we are going to be talking a little bit about some stuff going on inside of the Toon world this week. So if you are joining me, get in my chat box, get your questions in there. And if you've got breaking Toon world news, I need to hear from you guys as well. Hit me up and let me know what I haven't mentioned this week. And the one thing that I really want to be chatting about actually dropped last night. I am so excited because we have learned that Blood Ink is coming back in July. I am so thrilled for season 2. It is going to be so dang fun. And do I have a little inside information? Yes, I do. Will I share it with you? Not yet, but we're going to see what we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks. And dang, I am looking forward to the second season of this. It is going to be amazing. So stay tuned. Big things are happening. And all of the love for each and every one of you guys here hanging out with us today in the comments. TM Shark Nerd, I'm excited to see you. AT Isabella, hey girl. Amber, I'm excited that all of you are here. And if you guys have been paying attention inside of the Toon world, you know that Toon Ladies has started a brand new feature as part of our platform. We've been doing group cosplays where a number of us get together. We each represent a different character, and then I Photoshop us all together into one big scene. If you guys have not checked out our very first We Cosplayed Enjoy the Show by Jenna A. And I am so excited because look how cool this turned out. This is a series set inside of a movie theater in Las Vegas, and dang, it is one of the best written webtoons out there. And this cosplay group nailed it. It was so dang good. And we announced during our Friday Ask Me Anything Hangout session that our next one is actually going to be from Sub-Zero. Yes, friends, it is going to be dang cool. It's red, it's glowy, there are curtains, and there are characters. I'm so excited to show you this. It is going to be coming out later this week. Our final photos are coming in actually today. And we're going to be dropping this in the next couple of days over on social media. If you want more information on how to get involved, you can come hang out at discord.toonladies.com. And if you are somebody who knows all the cool things going on inside the Toon world, you need to be coming over here to hang out with us at Toon Ladies because we want you as a reporter. We would love for you guys to come and join the team. We're actually looking for all sorts of people to get involved and volunteer to hang out with the community. You can come on over to toonladies.com/join the team for more information. And of course, this week we dropped some really cool videos and episodes and podcast episodes. We hung out with Jenna A and her sister Erin, who co-create Enjoy the Show. Next week, we're actually going to be hanging out with Marissa and Anne, the creators of The Shadow Prophet. And this is a 2-part series where we're talking about how 2 different sets of co-creators are working together to create one webcomic. So good. Great information, and they both have a different process for going through this, so you guys do not want to miss out on all of the fun there. I just want to give a couple of quick shout outs to you fabulous people. TM Sharky Nerd here hanging out. Hi, Amber. Isabella, we're excited that you're here. All the love for LUFF inside of our comments. So excited for this one. I'm just scrolling through all the fun here. Oh gosh, you're getting tacos. Yes. This is amazing. I love it. You guys, this is fantastic. You love LUFF. Sarah and Janelle, yes. I'm excited that you guys are here. Triana, I'm excited that you guys are here as well. Getting some love for Blood Ink too. We already have the questions about our favorite boys inside of LUFF. Friends, I think on that note, we should probably bring up Arechan. Am I right? Are you excited? If you are, get into my comments right now and let me know just how dang excited you are to meet my fabulous friend Arechan. We're going to bring her up right now, and we're probably going to sit here and giggle the entire time. I'm so excited. Girl, how are you?
Good. Hi. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. This is our first time in public hanging out together. You and I have already recorded your podcast episode, which comes out in a few weeks, and you and I tend to hang out behind the scenes as well. But I'm so excited that you're here on the talk show.
Me
So,
too. I'm really excited.
so let's jump in. We're going to talk a little bit about you. We're going to talk a little bit about LUFF today, and we're going to answer some fan questions as well. And I'm really excited because you and I did chat on our podcast episode that's not released yet. So I know some things, and I got some questions, and I'm excited for this one. So let's back up. Let's introduce you. Let everybody know who you are, and then let's talk about what LUFF is.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm Arechan. I'm sorry about the accent. And I'm the author of LUFF. LUFF, if you read it, you know it. But if you don't, thank you for giving it a chance here. And let me explain a little bit of what is it all about. So LUFF is a story about future not so far away where the government is more interested about your relationship status than like your nosy aunt would be.
That's true.
Yeah, your relationship status dictates everything from how much taxes you pay to what kind of schools your children will be allowed to go to, all that kind of fun things. And it's all dictated by a percentage of like compatibility that you have with matching fingerprints. Like your fingerprints match, the more they match with your soulmate, the better the match is. And so you have a higher percentage and a better life. And in the middle of everything is this girl, Beatriz Torres, who happens to have two perfectly eligible bachelors with the same score. What will she do now?
Which I'm so excited because we've got this really fun love triangle going. And we've got two very opposite men. We've got one that is very upper class, one that is very lower class. We've obviously got the different types of body structures. We've got very different attitudes with the two of them as well. And so today we're going to be taking a look inside of your story about what happens when one girl has two matches, only she has to use science to figure it out. And she tries to figure out her compatibility, all while trying to get herself outside of the technical world that she is in. Beatrice is actually a girl who very much loves space. And so her mission in all of this is to figure out her perfect match, but also to get herself to outer space, which is pretty dang cool. So we're going to talk about the science. We're going to talk about all the fun things. But before we get there, we're just being flooded with love for you, and I just need to shout out some of these things. So we're going to get to the questions in just a second, guys. Keep them coming in, but I just want to scroll back up here and give all the love. So, hey, girl, hey.
Hi,
on your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Love. Keep up the great work. Your comic is beautiful. You talented queen.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind.
They're loving on LUFF.
Rizu, hi.
We're getting so much love. Turkey Nerd is loving the fashion that you've given everyone inside of LUFF.
Oh, thank you.
Woo! Man, these are coming in so fast. It's such a creative context within your story. Literally in love. Read all the episodes that are out at the moment twice.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That means the world to me, really.
And we're getting votes for which boy down in the comments below, which I love, guys. Keep it up. All right, friends, let's get into our conversation all about LUFF. So, how did you actually come up with the concept of your story? Where did that inspiration come from? What made you think of this? What's the behind the scenes of the creation of this?
Okay, so there are like two separate stories that happened in like two separate points of my life. I used to work in my alma mater as a graphic designer, and there was this like stoplight just before work that if you got a red light there, you were doomed to be there for like 5 minutes. So I had a lot of time to burn, and I got stuck there. And I started thinking, since I didn't want to be on my phone, I started just like playing around with everything that I saw around, imagining things. And one of the things that I did was look at my hands and start imagining little cars running through the fingerprints. And when it was time to jump to the other hand, I was like, oh, I'm sad they don't match. They can't keep going. They don't match. And then I thought, wow, what if your other half, your perfect half, actually matched your fingerprints. Like, if you join hands with them, you would be like complete, like together, like, you know, like the Socrates story with the people with two heads and four arms and all that. Um, and I just left that in the back burner and kept on living. And you know, in Latin America, it's I don't know if you guys know, but I'm from Mexico. I'm living right now in the United States, but I grew up in Mexico. And I started noticing something around me as I got older. That, for example, I have friends who are very successful women who have like their own businesses, who speak several languages, and yet many people, when they talk about them, would only focus on their relationship status, like, oh, do they have a boyfriend now, are they married now? And I kept thinking, like, why do you care about that when they're doing so well in other things? Like, why don't you ask about the other things? And then I started thinking, what if we took this and this was like the government? What if the government cared this much about your relationship status, about how well you were doing with your current boyfriend? What if that dictated your life? And then I started building the LUFF system around that. And I chose the fingerprints because I had that in the back burner. I was like, yeah, what if the more you match your fingerprints with your soulmate, the better you do. And that's how the government judges you. And oh, wow, okay, I'm going to build this whole thing up, I guess.
Which I love. And I know that you actually put a ton of work into figuring out the behind the scenes of your story. So not only have you created their story and the world that they exist in, but you've done your research. You figured out the tax system. You figured out the government system. You figured out the science behind things. So let's talk a little bit about the research that you've done for your story. What does that look like for you?
Well, I'm by no means a specialist, and all the research that I've done, it's research that you guys can do too for your own stories. But just from living, I kept thinking, like, well, how would divorce laws be? Like, let's build this. Like, maybe how bankruptcy laws work in the real world. I'm gonna study that and maybe apply that to like divorces, and how would the system apply from this percentage down. And I sat in a coffee shop with my husband and we talked for hours about the system. Like, we didn't even have the story yet, we were so enamored with the system. Like, it was so much fun to try and find out the system that ultimately it's kind of unfair.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I love that you spent so much time actually figuring this out, because a lot of people don't do that when they're creating the worlds within their stories. But you have like everything figured out, you know, all the behind the scenes, all the backstory for this. And I especially love that you did it in a coffee shop, which I know is actually really important inside of your story too. So just a little side deviation here. Let's take a minute and let's talk about your love for these coffee houses. So I know you're a fan, and I know you're a fan of drinking later in the evening too. So let's talk about how these coffee shop scenes inside of your story came to be. What inspired those?
Well, it's a very Latin American thing. Like, it's very normal in Latin America to go in the evenings with your friends to have some coffee. And that was one of the biggest cultural shocks I experienced here in the United States, because all the coffee shops around me would close at 2 p.m. and I would like to have my coffee at like 5 or 6, and it was just everywhere was closed. So I had to find like places. There was like this beautiful Belgian coffee house that I fell in love with, and then suddenly one day it just closed, like out of nowhere. Yeah, it was so sad. And I think that these are the places where the stories come out. You know, when you're out of your work day, you're with friends, you're just chatting, you're getting back your second wind so you can go back home and do all your chores. And that's when the best stories come out, like, you know, when you talk with your friends and your feelings. I think it's very important to me, it's very important, like, to share food and drinks like coffee or tea. Not so much alcohol, to be honest, but coffee and tea is like very important to me, and I think to the Latin American culture it is.
And I would definitely agree with that. I know, especially among my friends, we tend to get really chatty when we sit down and we are at a cafe or at a coffee shop and we're sharing coffee, tea, food, whatever. I feel like that's the time when everybody just kind of calms down and really digs deep and gets those good stories and those good conversations out of each other. And so I have to ask, when you personally walk into a coffee shop, what do you order?
Well, I really like espresso because I drink for results. I don't drink for fun. I drink for results.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much.
But I'm also always going with my friends who have like a sweet tooth, and they will always order like all these things like affogatos or like macchiatos or stuff like that. And I'm like the one with the espresso, like, done. Give me another one.
Oh my gosh, there will come a day when you and me and Loopy and some of our friends go out for coffee, and I'm just gonna have a ball watching you down that espresso. Oh goodness. We are getting all sorts of great comments and questions. We've got people hanging out with us while they're doing their homework. We're loving on tea and coffee. People are relating to what we're talking about. TM Sharky Nerd is a coffee addict, which I know because I have been to coffee houses with her before. Coffee with friends is the best, but at evenings tastes better. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're getting lots of great questions, and everyone is loving you in the comments. I'm just saying, there's a lot.
Thank you.
You got to go through it later because it's just comment after comment after comment about how lovely you are.
Oh, thank you so much. You're all the best.
All right, guys, before we go any further, before we dive into this, we actually have a tradition here at Toon Ladies. We need you guys to get your phones ready. So if you're watching on your phone, you're about to take a screen grab of us in just a minute. Not yet. Don't do it yet because I'm talking. Got to look for this one. Or if you're on your computer, you are going to grab your phone and you're going to take a picture of your laptop, computer, whatever. Bonus points if you're in it watching it. And you're going to put this out on social media and tag us in it to let your friends know you're here hanging out at the party. Because good friends don't come to the party without their friends. So are you guys ready? Get your phones ready. We are going to smile for 3 seconds for you guys. Take a really cute picture of us, and then you're going to be putting it out on social. So are you ready? We're going to smile. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, get that out on social media. Get us tagged in that one and let us know that you are here hanging out and watching us. I see that we've got lots of notifications. When I picked up my phone, it was just like everybody talking about this episode. So I'm really glad that you're all here and you're all hanging out and you're bringing your friends to the party. And while you are at it, we need you guys to make sure you're hitting that like button, leaving some comments below the video. I know you're chatting in the chat box, but like comments down here. It helps us over on YouTube. And bring your people over here. Make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell because we've got some really cool people coming up on the show too that you don't want to miss out. So while you're here, get all the work done. All right, let's jump back in. We talked a little bit about how you research for your story, how you go through creating your world building and your character development. And I want to switch gears just a little bit and talk about your artwork. So what does that look like for you? What is your weekly process when it comes to creating your episodes?
Oh, okay. Well, first, I do have a timeline. And so I try to follow that timeline and see where I am because I build my whole story. I like to build my whole stories before I start drawing them. So I have the whole thing and I see where I'm going to be at, and then I start writing. So that usually takes me a little bit because I think in Spanish and then I have to write it in English and then I have to double check with everybody. And I start thumbnailing next, which is like making this really tiny examples of like what the page would look like, what the panel would look like. It's usually really simple sketches. It's usually just like gesture drawing, basically. So I tend to add like little details to know which character is which. So, for example, if it's B, it's the gesture with the big poof. Or like if it's Julian, it's the buff gesture. He's like the only one who's built like that. If it's Daniel, I make sure to have the spiky hair so that my editor will always know who is who in the shot. So everybody has like this one distinct thing that I would add to my thumbnails so they will know, so that my editor will know. And I send it to her, and she will see how the scenes are built, how the pacing is going. She will suggest changes, or with the dialogue, or with the poses, or maybe with pacing. Maybe she will ask me to add more panels, or like to subtract panels. And then I can start working. And I usually don't have time to do sketches, so I ink directly over my gesture drawings, which is, it can get a little bit messy sometimes with the proportions and the deadlines and everything, but it works for me.
Hey, if it works.
Yeah, if it works. I draw everything, like from start to finish, and then I flat everything. I ask my husband for help because it's a lot. And once the flats are down, I send them to my assistant. Hi, Diana. And she has to rush to shade and color everything. I have a meeting with her, and I'm like, this is this time of the day. This is this kind of lighting that it has to be. She has to work with like the thumbnailed version too, so it's very important that it's clear for her too. And I have to make notes like with color. I'm like, this is where the shadow drops, this is where everything goes. And she starts shading, and I already start with the next episode. I'm already writing the script for the next episode, and it's rolling that rock uphill again.
It's a never-ending cycle, right?
Oh yeah, very Sisyphus.
Oh, we are getting lots of love and lots of great questions, and I had one and I lost it. I'm gonna find it. But we're gonna keep going. So I love that you are creating this every single week, and you do so much work with it. And I love that you kind of ink directly onto your imagery, but I also know that you're very fast paced about this because somebody decided to do new artwork for Toon Ladies very quickly. Very quickly.
Yeah, I am. I like to think that I am very extra, so I like to make new art assets whenever I can, which is why I like to post new art.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I like to post new art like every time I can, which is usually every Monday. So to like promo the new episode, and I thank you, Tanya. Well, it helps with the practice because, of course, art is, as usual, like an exercise. It's muscle memory. It's like you have to learn, and you have to give yourself time to read some tutorials, study some real people, but it's also drawing. Like you have to let yourself suck and just go on learning and drawing. So speed helps me with that because I don't have time to sit down and be like, this has to be perfect because I have a deadline. So I just have to be like, it's okay. This is just progression. I'm going to do it better next time and plow through. And I think that helps a lot with pacing, with the speed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, I have to ask, because you do work very, very quickly and you are very, very aware of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and you just move forward with it. I want to go back just a little bit in time to when you first started this. We heard about how you came up with the concept for this, but I want to talk a little bit about how long it took you to develop what your characters looked like. So was this a very quick process for you? Did you know instantly what each of your main characters would look like? Did you play with different styles? What did that look like for you?
Well, Julian, I think, was the easiest. I wanted him to be like big and buff and like tough looking, but also be like a gentle puppy, like in the inside. So It was really easy to design him because he's just like a really big rectangle with like spikes on top because he's trying to look like menacing and bad boy, but he's like actually like he has a really stable foundation in his family and his education and stuff, so it's like a rectangle and spikes, so that was really easy. And then Daniel came next, and it was easy after Julian because I wanted him to be opposite. So he's like a triangle, which is his face, his torso, everything is a triangle, an upside down triangle, because he's always like teetering this way or that way. He's like not very much, very very different from Julian in his like, his look, everything. He's like walking with his nose up all the time and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was kind of easier to design him after I designed Julian. I think the latest thing that I added to him is like his eyelashes, because I have, yeah, my brother-in-law has like those fluffy blonde eyelashes. Yes. And it was my husband who told me, because when I started drawing him, I drew him with normal eyelashes like everybody else. And it was my husband who was like, hey, isn't he a natural blonde? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, then his eyelashes must be blonde, right? Maybe like blonde and fluffy, like, your sister's husband. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. So I started drawing him like that. That was like the latest thing that came into his design, which was like, it was already being published, but I just went for it. I was like, I hope nobody realizes that I just started.
You just outed yourself, but hey.
It's fine. You guys will forgive me for it, right? It's our secret.
Listen, I forgive you for it, because the last time you and I hung out, it was one of those like lean in moments, like, let's talk about those fluffy eyelashes. I was all about that.
I'm glad.
I feel like in general, men have better eyelashes than the women. Like, it's unfair how long and pretty their eyelashes are. And Daniel just got the fluffy eyelashes. It's not fair.
It's just not fair, yes. And the last design to come up with was B. She was like the hardest one to design, because I had this very much anime aesthetic. I still have it, but I kind of wanted them to be like rooted in real people and the kind of real looks that people have in the setting of the story, since it was going to be a Latin American country. And hi, Mayela. And well, in Latin America, there is not many people who wear bangs. Like, bangs are more of a statement, but everybody in anime has bangs. So I had to try around with a lot of different styles until I decided that it was going to reflect her character arc, which is like two ways. She's like stuck she's like with a road in the middle of two ways. And I wanted her to look pretty. I remember telling that a friend. I was so frustrated drawing her, trying to find her face, and I remember telling her, I want her to be pretty. And I hope I achieved it.
You did, because everyone's in the comments saying how pretty B is. So you're good.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. I really tried. Thank you. The other thing I knew, the only thing I knew, I remember since the very beginning that I wanted B to be, is that I wanted her to be tall, because I wanted them three to be like equals in their power. Like, I didn't want anyone to tower over anyone. I wanted them all to be equal. And sure, she has to like wear heels to be the exact height of the boys, but she's tall. She can handle herself.
I love that though, because I'm a tall girl, and it's not something you get represented very often. Usually the girls are a lot shorter than the guys in these types of things. And so I really like that we've got a tall girl hanging out. It makes me happy.
Oh, I'm glad. I struggle sometimes when drawing her around stuff because I am very short. So I have a very different relationship with objects. I'm like, oh, what do you mean people don't lean in like this? Like, what do you do with all that leg? Like, where do your legs go when you sit, girl?
Oh, next time you have issues, I can answer that one. right, let's jump into some of these questions. I got some more things we're going to be chatting about, but dang, they have been flooding in. And so I want to get to some of these before we go any further. We are getting lots of love for how pretty Bee is. We are getting that Julian is baby. We're getting people who are just meeting you for the first time who are actually going to start reading LUFF. So guys, we're excited for this one.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving LUFF a chance.
Oh, I got a question there we're going to come back to. We got to come back to that one. Oh, I'm always so shocked with your sketches. Everything is so clear and beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I always see them more like gestures than sketches, but thank you.
Mary Jane is hanging out and she says, do you like working with an editor or do you prefer working solo? She's never worked with an editor and she loves working on her own. So what is that like for you working with an editor?
Oh, I have a really good answer for you because I have both experiences. LUFF is my second webtoon, and in my first webtoon, there were not enough people, so I didn't have an editor, and I just went blindly through it. But I think having an editor is really good because sometimes it happens that when you have your nose so deep in your story, you just don't see the things from an outside perspective. You need an outside perspective sometimes. So let's see, for example, when I first pitched the story to Webtoon, Daniel didn't have a pet. It was actually a suggestion from my editor that he should have a pet, that it would make sense for him to have a pet. So thanks to her suggestion, I was able to introduce Ara to the story, which I think enriches, makes Daniel's character better, like more complicated, more rounded up. Yeah. So I think there are a lot of good points in having an editor, having another set of eyes to spot mistakes, to spot like plot holes, to see the world in a different way, because also your experiences are not the same as your editor's experiences, and you can like complement each other if you work together and you're willing to take like the advice. You don't have to take it all if you're not like feeling like it. If you have like a personal message that you don't want to compromise or something like that, you can talk to them. They are people, they understand. And my editor is the loveliest girl you will ever meet. So I really owe her a lot. I think working with an editor is a blessing. And if you can get one, that would make your work even more rich than it already is.
And as an author, like a book author, I 100% back everything that was just said. Editors are really important to the process because we get really, really close to our work and we miss things, and they definitely help us build things up. And you don't have to take everything that they say, but it's really good to have that conversation either way. So 100% back that answer. Sarah was super excited to hear that your story was one of the top read romance stories on Webtoon.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
And also very excited that you're in the top 10 as well. If that did not go up, there we go. There it is.
Oh my God, thank you so much. It's all because of you guys. If you weren't reading me, I wouldn't be there. Thank you so much for reading, for sharing, for enjoying, for getting the fast passes. If you can't, don't worry. Reading it is enough. Thank you so much. Like, it's all because of you guys, truly.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Damn Sharky Nerd wants to know, are you obsessed with space as much as Bee is?
I think nobody on Earth is as obsessed as Bee is with space. But I do like it a lot. I used to be very much fantasy oriented when I was younger, and I used to think there was like no wonder left in the world, and that, scientific explanation killed magic and stuff like that. But the more I grew up, the more I started realizing that magic was simply science, and that there were so many things that we didn't know, like the bottom of the sea. We don't know anything about, like, we don't know so much about the bottom of the sea. We don't know so much about space. It's like magic, but real. It's like, I don't know how people can't be talking about it all the time, honestly. Like, I wish I had more time to be properly obsessed with anything except my work. But I can tell you that I love it. I think it's magical, and I think we're very, very blessed to be living in this time where we can explore it and we can learn more about it.
And I feel like you were really smart because you took something that you loved and were passionate about because you knew you didn't have a ton of time to go do it outside of work. So you put it into your work to make sure you had time for it. Respect for that, girl.
Thank you.
We are getting lots and lots of love. Amber would like to know, how did you come up with your art style?
Oh, I think it just came up naturally with a lot of with a lot of influences growing up and the kind of media I consume. So I've always read comics and I've always drawn comics. Like I remember drawing comics with my sister before we could even learn how to write. So our comics didn't have dialogues; they were just like drawings on a on a horizontal like notebook. And we started there. So when we discovered that there were actually comics, like real life comics, we started reading that. And then there was like an anime boom in Mexico, and I'm sure many people will know like series that were like just broadcasted in like open TV, like public TV. So I started seeing this like anime series, and I started thinking, I want to draw like that. I want to draw Sailor Moon. I want to draw this and that. And so I started drawing that. And then of course I had like Disney also, but Disney never really caught me until Atlantis, and then I came across the Atlantis like art style with the Mike Mignola like designs. Like, oh my god, I was like, that changed me forever. And then of course the internet, I started seeing the work of people like Gael Lotan or like Eric Huang, or like stuff with the Japanese stuff. Like I love Pretty Cure, for example, and like Harketch Pretty Cure. I don't know if you've seen it. Like Umakoshi is like his style is so dynamic and so like geometric and stuff. Like I knew him also from like Ohamaha Doremi or Jamajo Doremi, and like even Ikuhara's old work, like the movie The Adolescence of Utena, you can see you can see his influence in like my profiles. Like because I draw the noses just like that. Just Google Adolescence of Utena, and you're going to be like, oh, that side view, that nose, yeah, that's exactly how LUFF the author draws it. So I think it's like a bunch of influences through life, and also it shows also the things that you value visually the most. So there are things that you take from what you look around. So I like, for example, when drawing families, I like that families look like each other. So when I draw families, I try to make it that, oh, they have this, like she has like B's mom has like B's hips, you know, like big hips, or like Caro has her dad's hair, you know, stuff like that I like. Or like I like to draw like the seams on the sleeves because I really like how clothes are made. I also think that it's very magical how clothes are made.
Yeah.
Right? I couldn't do it if I tried. So I like to add those kind of details in my art. And I think you just start building it with that kind of decisions. Like the media you consume, the things you believe are important to you, you add that to your art. And then your art starts looking kind of like you. And I like to think that.
I love it. I love it. And I feel like you have not met my Disney animator friend, Philo Barnhart, yet. He was on our show 2 weeks ago. But we're going to get on a conversation with him and talk fashion, because there's a very good chance you're going to like his stories about his father creating fashion for Disney. Ooh, and just the lines and the themes and the, yes. He created costumes for Julie Andrews. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God. Oh.
I know. You guys didn't hear it because it was off air 2 weeks ago. But I was chatting with Philo, and he was talking to me about the time that he met Julie Andrews, and Julie Andrews remembered him based on his father and the costumes that he made for her movies.
Julie Andrews, actual queen.
I know, right? So jealous. Such great stories, and we're definitely going to connect you with him because it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun conversation. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But I did want to ask you, you brought up the fact that you started doing art back in the day with your sister. And inside of your story, you've got a sister relationship going on. So did your relationship with your sister affect B's relationship?
I think there's a little bit of me and my sister there, but not too much. I like to keep also some my private life a little private, so I don't put it everywhere for everyone to read. But yes, I will admit that I put a lot of me in Carolina, in Caro, B's little sister, because I'm the youngest. So
Oh, okay. Okay. I like hearing these things. Always fun. And speaking of dropping in things from real life into your story, we've got a great comment. LUFF is one of my top favorites. Oh, it jumped on me. There we go. I love all the Mexican lingo sprinkled in the dialogues, and the issues portrayed are very real. Thank you for creating LUFF. And you and I have actually had conversations about how you've strategically done this inside of your story. So let's chat a little bit about the language. I know you initially write in Spanish and then you translate it to English, but we still have some fun Spanish words inside of your story. So let's talk about this.
okay. Well, I like to start to try and make my dialogues sound like conversations. I like to have them as actual conversations with my husband or with a friend who's helping me bounce ideas for the dialogue. So it's very easy to switch back to Spanish because it's my first language. And of course, when I'm putting it down in paper, sometimes it's really hard to translate stuff. Sometimes it's really hard to translate figures of speech. Sometimes it's very hard to translate actual words. Sometimes there are words that have not a good enough translation. So I decided to keep them. I thought, yeah, okay, let's do it. It's not like some I really don't like when sometimes people are in media, like people, Latin American people, just saying sí instead of yes, because we know that yes exists and is one of the first words that you learn when you're starting to learn English. But there are actual words that you just cannot find from one language to the other. So I was like, why bother? Let's keep them. Yeah, let's let the Latin American people fix it in the comments for me.
Oh gosh.
They can educate the other people, like, oh, what does this mean? Oh, this is used for this and that. And it builds community, and I'm really, really grateful if you take the time to reply and answer a question about like our beautiful culture. Thank you so much. You're doing a better job than I do. Trust me.
I love that it starts a conversation, though. That communication is so important, especially among the fandoms. So, guys, not only are you helping her out, but like you're forming community. This is a good thing. We like this. And speaking of things we like, people have some wallpapers hanging out right now. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I'm so happy that you liked it, Valeria. I tried to make it fashion, like Bird would make it fashion, you know? Hi, Jenny. Oh my God, Jennifer, that girl who you just posted her comment. She is the inspiration behind the girl from the shelter with the long braid.
Hey, girl. We're excited that you're here.
Yeah, she has the same long braid and the beautiful tan skin.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Guys, I'm so excited that you're all here. This is so much fun. Keep leaving all the comment love in the chat box. I'm just scrolling through it. There's so much love happening right now, and I love it. If you've got more questions, we've got a few more minutes. We're hanging out to get these answered for you. So now is the time to drop those into the chat box right now. And so I'm just scrolling through. Oh, y'all, you're starting conversations in the comments. I love it. I love it. We're talking about anime recommendations in the comments right now. And good. Yes. Look at you guys go. Oh, I love this. I love this. Thank you for making comics. You are an amazing artist. Love, and how dynamic the characters are in personality and sexuality.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
There is a question about whether or not there's a Spanish version of LUFF.
Yes, there is. You can access Webtoon in Spanish through the web, or you can change your language settings in your app, and you can change it to Spanish, and there it will be. They're in like episode 46. This week it's 46. So yeah, go check it out and leave a nice comment over there too.
Yeah, comments are helpful, guys. Leave all the comment love. And beyond that, make sure that you are leaving love on social media for other people to see. Instagram stories, Instagram main feed, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Like, you know the drill. Get out there. Promote, promote, promote. We love these
And
things.
thank you so much for doing it. Thank you so much for sharing it. Thank you so much for recommending it to your friends. Seriously, thank you so much. You guys are the best.
You're so nice about it. I'm over here like, and tag her. Tag her. Thank you. I love it. Leanne's mom is literally my mom.
Oh my God, yes. Like, it's everybody's mom in Latin America. Well, except mine, because mine is literally B's mom.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. So we're still taking your questions. We're still taking your comments. Get over into my chat box right now. And while you're at it, leave a comment about how much you love this video down below, because YouTube weighs these differently and we want to make YouTube happy, because that means more people come to the party. So leave some comments down there, please. Love you. And I want to turn this just a little bit before we go, because I know that this is a really big deal for everybody. Now, I know that you know the end to this story.
Yes.
And I know you got this planned. We're not going to ask you spoiler questions.
Okay.
But people want to know about the boys. So without saying who you favor, without saying who may or may not win B's heart, let's just take a minute to talk about each of the boys. Now, we chatted about them a little bit and how you built them physically, but let's talk a little bit about their personalities. So which of them do you want to dive into first?
I think Julian, because I have Latin American people, Mexican people even in the comments. So I think they're going to enjoy this one. Well, they're going to enjoy Daniel's story too. But, you know, Julian starts very rough, but he starts in a very normal way if you've grown around people like him. So I've known my fair share of guys who, just like him, have been influenced by the culture of machismo in Mexico or in Latin America. So it's very much like, they have lewd posters of women and they are a little bit crude with their comments and stuff like that. And I like to think that they don't do it just like out of evil in their hearts or something like that, but more like it's a learned thing. I think it's a thing that they learn around the people. They see how their parents or how their uncles do it and they learn it. And I wanted to make Julian start like that and start, growing little by little out of it and letting his personality shine out, which turns out he's like a very caring family man, which is it's also a very much Latin American thing, because family is very, very much important. So I wanted him to start, rough, and a little bit at the beginning. People were like really angry that he dined and dashed and stuff like that. But the more you know him, the more you see, how he's like a soft boy, actually.
Well, teddy bear.
that's like very fun. And with Daniel, of course, he also grew like around a society that molded him, but in a different way, because like in a place where people value more like how much you can produce, how much money you can make, or like how much networking you can do. And they are like much less sensible to like stuff like charities and stuff, unless it's to save face. So I wanted him to grow up thinking that love was just like another business, especially because in the system, it is basically part of the business. The second F in love is finances. And we see that very much in the space where Daniel grew up. So of course his personality is also like very much underneath all of that. And once you start like breaking all those barriers, you start seeing, so like his change feels like the sharpest, I think, because he's like he turns out to be this very soft boy too. And I mean, I like to think that there's soft people inside of everybody, and we're just like trying to put up walls because, you know, the world is at least 50% terrible, but there are also like 50% good, and you can let it out and be yourself like that. So I wanted kind of also to show that, like I wanted him to grow in like a privilege, like money brand kind of world, and then like his caring nature would be like undervalued by his family and stuff like that. But he's starting to grow and feel like this freedom to be himself, which might not be a good thing after all. You might want to keep reading.
oh, with a teaser like that, that's mean. That was mean. Okay, I see. I love the men that you've created, though, because they are so different, but also when it boils down, very similar. We've got that soft center to these boys, and I'm excited to see what you are going to be doing with the rest of your story and where we're going next. I have heard some fun things about some of those upcoming episodes, so I'm excited. If you guys are excited to, get in my chat box and let me know what you're hoping to see next. We might just
if you guys are fans of Julian, you don't want to miss episode 66. This is the one coming up tomorrow. You don't want to miss that one. I'm just saying.
Okay, friends. Okay, you heard it. Should we do like a group read? Like, should we all like actually, let's just be real honest about this. Get over to my Discord because we talk about this over in Discord. We'll just make a whole group chat out of it. If you guys are not on Discord with me, discord.toonladies.com. Come join us. We're going to do this together. We're going to have like an emotional support group going on for our love for these men. I'm just saying, it's going to be a thing. Sarah does want to know, do you yourself have a pet?
Oh, yes, I have two cats. One is like an American bobtail, and the other one is a Norwegian forest cat. Their names are Pistachio and Cacahuate, which means pistachio and peanut, which, it's not themed. But it's a funny story because I just named them that so that I could nickname them, Piss and Caca. I'm so sorry. I'm literally 5 years old. I'm so sorry, but that's the truth. So I love them. They're very spoiled. They are always asking me for treats. They're lovely. They sleep all on me all the time. It's a miracle they haven't come to interrupt the stream.
I've met them before. They're adorable.
Yeah, they're right. Like my American bobtail is so tiny. She's like the runt, so she's like never grew up. She looks like a kitten, like a 6 months old kitten. It's adorable.
That's so funny. My one dog, she looked like a baby for the first like 7 years of her life. It wasn't until she hit age 7 that she looked like a full-grown dog. It was so funny. All the love for kitties in the comments. Everybody is very excited for tomorrow's episode, and they're loving on the complex and diverse characters.
Thank you. I had to say it. It's my favorite story. I named them that for that. I guess I love to tell that story.
Called out, girl. Called out. Oh, God. Oh, you guys are so funny. Other people have cats too. Getting the love for the kitties. Yeah.
Yay, kitty people. Yay.
Hey, those of you that love the puppy dogs, that's me. Come over and hang out with me. Well,
my parents have a dog, and so my childhood house has a dog. Her name is Charlotte. She's a German shepherd, and she's like the sweetest dog you would ever meet. Oh my God, she thinks she's a lap cat, and she's huge. Oh my God, I love her so much. I miss her so much.
Oh, I love it. We're getting questions. I'm going to ask you this because I can't remember if we talked about this off air or in the podcast. So I'm going to ask you this. You can either be vague about this or you can kind of give them an idea. Okay. So they want to know, how long do you expect the series to go? How many seasons? So are we getting toward an end? Is it going to be a while? or do we just want to say you know where the end is and you're gonna get there?
I think it's fair to tell you guys, LUFF is only going to be 2 seasons long, and we're in season 2. So everything I'm writing matters. There is no filler, I promise. So don't miss it out. Everything counts, I promise. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be so much fun. Don't think that it's going to be short. Just think that it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and now that we've said that, I can also say we're going to be doing some fun things as we get closer toward the end. So stay tuned with Toon Ladies because, do I have things planned? Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's going to be fun. We literally talked about this afternoon. She doesn't know what I'm doing yet, but it's going to be good.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'm over here being like really sneaky about it. And I'm going to spend the rest of this time teasing you about it until we get to the point where I'm going to launch this stuff. Y'all, if you want to be involved in this, you need to like get in my Discord and you need to be DMing me on Instagram because things are going to happen and you don't want to be left out. I'm just saying. All right, friends, we are, we're almost at the top of our hour. We are almost at the top of our hour, which means we're about to say goodbye. But
let's do like a lightning round so like we can answer like as many questions as possible.
Okay, if you've got last questions, we'll go for a couple more minutes. We can go over a few minutes. Go ahead and drop those right now. And we're getting shock over just 2 seasons. They want so much more.
I thank you so much, guys. I planned the whole thing already. I'm sorry. I don't want to needlessly prolong the story.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see the end. Like, I want to know what happens. And y'all, I'm just going to say, I'm probably going to know before you. So, like, you should think about how we're going to bribe us. I'm just saying. Oh, there's a fun one. Okay, I just want to toss this up because I feel like this is a hilarious comment. We have a Tamagotchi. Does that count?
It counts. As long as you love it, it counts.
Oh, that's so funny. So they want to know, are you going to be doing another webtoon after this?
I want to. Yes, I want to do another webtoon after this, and I already have it planned, and I have to work on it. But of course, I can't work on it right now because I'm doing LUFF. But yes, you can expect to see more of my work, and we can go in many other adventures together.
And get you in the top 10 again.
Oh my God, you guys, I'm seriously, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
So we're getting questions about, oh my goodness, that's a great comment. We're coming back to that one. We do want to know, when you get toward the end, without spoilers, are we going to see kind of a look into the future after the initial storyline ends? Are we going to see where they are maybe a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now in the future when we get to the end of this, or maybe not so much?
Well, I can say it without spoiling you guys. Yes. Yes, we are going to see it all the way through.
I love it. Very good. Very good. They do want to know, is there going to be a Mars City sequel? Are we going to have sequel in space? Maybe? Like, I'm there for this.
Maybe. I don't know. I would have to start cooking that.
I feel like I know you've got your next series you're going to be working on, but like maybe after that.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe a spin-off.
Yeah, spin-off. Do it. I love it, and we're gonna get off air. I'm gonna be like, okay, you tell me how this ends, and then let me help you like 100 ideas. Sarah would like to know, what other webtoons do you read? So go ahead, get your fangirl on.
Oh my God, I absolutely love Blood Inc. so much. Like, you guys saw the cameo, and it was because, I love it. I'm obsessed. Like, I draw them on my spare time, which is not a lot, but I do. Sorry, I don't post stuff. Not everything is good. I'm just like trying to let my fan out. And of course, everybody reads Lore Olympus. I read Lore Olympus too. And Raya, I also read it. Space Boy, I love Space Boy too. I've been following it like for years now. like the storytelling and the color palette and everything. I love it. I read a lot of Canvas too, Canvas stuff. Overpowered. I read. It's like a funny superhero story. I've been following that author from other works in the past, and yeah, I read a lot. Like I could go on for hours, but I want to answer more questions. So I think those are like the ones that are on the top of my head right now.
I love it. I love it. And guys, if you've got last minute questions, now's the time. You have like 30 seconds to put your questions in. It's going to take like a minute or two for those to like filter through to me. So like 30 seconds, get your questions in right now. We're going to get this wrapped up in just a couple of minutes. But I'm getting all the notifications on all of my devices right now. I'm working on this. We appreciate you guys tagging us over on social media and shouting out today's episode, because we have so much fun doing this for you. And the more love you give, the more likely we are to get a certain someone back on the show. I'm just saying.
Okay. Oh my God, I just remembered. Oh, I'm so silly. Like, there are other two Canvas webtoons that I read a lot. One's called Luminous, which is like a magical girl story. The art is gorgeous. Like it's soft. It's like you're watching an anime, like a magical girl anime. You guys should check it out. And also my assistant is starting her webtoon too, and it's called The Creator. And it's an action magic kind of like story. So if you like your action and your fights, you should go check it out. And let me say that publicly now, Irina, best girl.
Oh my goodness. You are going to need to remind me of this after we get off air, because I'm totally going to go look at that. This is
exciting. Yeah, totally. You guys should check it out. They're really good.
People want backgrounds from Daniel's phone.
Yeah, that picture. Yeah, I'll put it on my highlights on Instagram. I keep forgetting. I'm so sorry. Thank you for being patient with me.
Mary Jane wants to know, what hobbies do you have besides drawing, and do you have advice for Canvas creators?
I like calligraphy. I have a calligraphy pen, and I like doing calligraphy work. I just grab my favorite words and write them over and over until I like how they look. I don't post anything because I'm not very good yet, but it's fun. It's fun to let the pen roll and just like not think about gesturing and the story pacing and stuff. And my advice to you would be consistent with your updates so that you can build a community around your comic and you can get noticed by the editors. They are looking for people who are consistent in their update schedule. So you should do that and have fun with it, because we all know it's a lot of work. So you might as well have fun with it.
Very good. Very good. My baby is flattered. Thank you for the shout out.
You're welcome. Meeting a best girl.
Friend, hit me up. Come hang out with me. That's all I'm saying. Friends bring friends to the party, and Arechan did. Okay. Could you guys have a sleepover hangout with Loopy Cut on a weekend? We do hang out with Loopy Cut a lot.
I mean, I don't know if you want us to live stream it though, because our time zones are kind of whack. So I don't know what would constitute as a sleepover, since our nights are her days and stuff. So we're like kind of like switched.
We'll totally work on a live stream for you guys. We'll just like hang out, the three of us, and just giggle, and you guys can just watch, because it's hilarious when we hang out. All I'm saying, right?
It's fun, yeah.
We do virtual coffee dates, guys. It's fun. It's entertaining. We actually have something cool in the works for not too far away, which I'm very excited about, which we're going to talk about when we get off air, too. It's going to be fun. Before we go, they would like to know about the country that you've built. So tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. Well, I built it like, oh man, I wish I had more time to tell you all about it, because I like know exactly where it is. I know the climate, like the seasons, like the temperature. I know all that fun stuff. Like Toloa is based on both my experience and my husband's experience. I'm from Mexico, like I said, and my husband is from Venezuela. I know Venezuela right now is in a really bad place, but it didn't used to be, and we're like trying to make it seem like that. So it's a little bit Toloa City where it happens. It's a little bit like a mix between Mexico City and Caracas. So we had stuff you must have noticed. Like we had stuff that looks like Mexico City, and then with names from Venezuelan parks, or like the metro system is Mexico City's metro, stuff like that. It's so I like to think that it's a mixture between Mexico and Caracas and Venezuela. I'm sorry, even though Mexico is kind of far away, because I also have a geographic position for Toloa, which is like smack in the middle of like Guyana, Venezuela, and Brazil. So they share a little bit of the Amazon too. It's
Wow.
like, yeah, and they have like a way to the sea, like they break a little bit to the North Sea and stuff. Like, it's. I have so much to say. There's so little time. I'm so sorry. I hope that's enough.
That was fantastic. And the next time you hang out with us, we will talk all about your world building, which I'm dang excited for. It's going to be fun. We might. Guys, let us know in the comments. Do you want to see an Instagram live with us talking about this? Let us know. Might be able to make it happen. Just saying. Just saying. People are loving giveaways. Speaking of giveaways, if you guys have not signed up for the newsletter yet, newsletter.toonladies.com. Every single week, we're dropping breaking Toon World news and swag. We give you guys wallpapers every single Saturday. We're hanging out with Lily Dusk of Midnight Poppyland next week. I'm just saying.
Ooh, wow. Oh my God. That's great.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you participate in my giveaways too, like, thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying your stuff. I have stuff to send you, but you know, Miss Rona threw a wrench into my plans. But now that everything's starting to open up a little, maybe I can start mailing things out again. I have so many things to gift you guys. I wish I could just see you face to face so I could just hug you and give you your stuff. Like, I just want to give you your stuff, guys. Like, thank you. Thank you. Like, like, I feel like it's not enough to just thank you with stuff. Thank you so much. There are no words.
I feel like that is a really good place to wrap this up with all the love for both you and your fans. So before I let you go, any last thoughts you want to give to your fans? And then I'm going to ask you where they can connect.
Well, once again, thank you so much for like supporting me. Thank you so much for reading and enjoying LUFF so carefully. I know I say it a lot, but it's because I really mean it. And I'm really happy that you guys are up for this adventure with me. It might seem like I don't engage with you a lot, but I'm very busy working. But I do like see you. I recognize your usernames. I appreciate you a lot, and really thank you so much for coming along and for enjoying my content and for leaving comments. You guys are the best.
All right, my friend, where can everybody find you on social media to connect and leave comments and DMs and all the love?
Well, I'm Arechan, ARECHANGA, and both Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to DM me, Instagram is better for that because I don't check my Twitter DMs too much. And yeah, I think Instagram is the place where you guys can find me. Of course, Webtoon, you can read my Webtoon there, like every Monday night, yeah, and every Tuesday. You can check it out. Please continue to support it, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my friend, for being here, for sharing all of your wisdom and behind the scenes of LUFF. This has been so dang much fun, and I cannot wait to do this again with you. This has just been lovely. You are the best.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
So fun.
We will talk to you again soon. And before you guys go, I got some cool things to tell you about. So stay tuned because we're going to get right to that. Thanks, friend. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, friends, if you had all the fun today, make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell because next week we're hanging out with another of my fabulous friends. I am so excited because we are going to be chilling with Jenna A of Enjoy the Show. You guys know this is one of my favorite webtoons. I talk about it all the time. And she's going to come hang out with us next week, followed by Mushmallow of Defects. Dang, that woman is funny. You guys are going to have all the fun with that one. And then the next week, we're hanging out with the man who produced the Swan Princess movies. Y'all remember those? They like to find our childhood. We're talking to the producer who is, yes, in that photo, wearing a suit that has all the Swan Princess characters. Bonus, he was standing in front of a matching car. So we're going to hang out with this man in a couple of weeks, and I'm so excited. So make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell because we're having all the fun when it comes to talking about these amazing webcomics and movies and animations and just, it's going to be so good. Speaking of things that are so good, tomorrow we're holding our exclusive event that only 6 people can get into. You have to be on our Instagram tomorrow morning. We're going to be dropping all the details on what we're doing. I'm going to tell you exactly what the event is, how to get into it, and then at 2 p.m. Eastern, 6 of you will be able to get into this room with me. It is exclusive, and if you don't make it in, you don't get access. You cannot see it, you cannot experience it, and it very well might be on lockdown for everybody. We might not be able to talk about it at all. So it is big, it's huge. We've got some amazing people coming to join us for this who are going to try to get into like big name webtoon creators. You guys definitely want to try to come hang out for this one, 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, but we're dropping the information probably somewhere between 9 and 11 a.m. on Instagram stories and our main feed. Do not miss out. Later this week, we're going to be hanging out with Marissa and Anne on our podcast. They created the Shadow Prophet together. We're going to be learning exactly how their creative process works to co-create this webcomic series in the second part of our 2-part series on webcomic co-creators. It's going to be so dang much fun. And boy, do we have the videos coming out for you this week. You do not want to miss out on these. We're dropping some good ones. We've got some big events coming. We've got some big names coming to hang out with us. And like I said, Lily Dusk from Midnight Poppyland is hanging out with us on our newsletter this weekend. Make sure you subscribe at newsletter.toonladies.com so that you do not miss out. You will be so sad if you do. We're actually interviewing her, and we're interviewing Tora. Oh, yes, I'm getting that man to answer questions for us that you sent in, and oh, dang, we're about to get some good information. All I'm saying, behind the scenes stuff that has not happened inside of the story yet that you do not want to miss. Newsletter.toonladies.com. All right, friends, I will see you over on Toon Ladies on all the social media platforms, and next week I will see you as we hang out with Jenna A of Enjoy the Show. Keep your eyes peeled. We're dropping our second group cosplay all about Sub-Zero later on this week. Thanks, friends, for joining us. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Until next week, we hope you have a great